If it's knowledge, humour, or a different perspective that you seek, look for the wisdom in the words that we speak. Words and wisdom. We'll let you decide.
Hello and welcome back to Words and Wisdom, you beautiful people. Or if you haven't been before, welcome to the podcast of nuance, where we take all kinds of ideas, break them down into lefts and rights and in the middles, and then we come from all different kinds of viewpoints and perspectives, trying to give you some value and maybe give you a new perspective and a new way of looking at life.
That was beautiful, mate. It's like you've done this before.
I'm trying, yeah. We're trying, yeah, working on it.
We do all the little bits in between, don't we, mate?
Oh, we do.
The grey areas.
The grey areas, mate. And on today's podcast, straight to the point, we're going to be talking about opinions, debates, how to have a healthy debate, and also our belief systems as human beings and why sometimes they can work against us in terms of trying to connect with one another.
And I like to say that we're not experts in anything apart from being ourselves, and we've been on a bit of a turbulent ride, you could say, in life. We've learnt a lot on the way, and we just want to help little mini Mikeys, mini Zaks, and people out there that might be struggling to connect in life, I suppose.
And I think the important thing you said there, why we feel like we can help people, is because we are experts on ourselves. Like, we know ourselves, we fully love ourselves, we've come to understand who we are as human beings and what we want them. And you know, is it Bruce Lee that said that famous quote, you've got to know yourself to know others?
Oh, okay.
So by knowing, and I think what he's trying to say there is, because we're all very similar in how we work up here and in the heart, and what we want, you know, we all want to be happy. Once you know how you tick, you can kind of know to a degree how others tick and how to help them. So that's why we feel like we're qualified to help these people listening.
I only know the be like water, my friend. I only know that one. Is that Bruce Lee? No, that, yeah. Sounds like it when you said it.
I think I have. He's got a whole like paragraph on it.
Learning to fly. It's beautiful.
Being like water, and because water's this and that. And
I remember I went mad for training when I was about 16, but I'd always go running, and I just had motivational speakers like shouting in my ears. And that quote, when he came on, I just started pegging it. I was like, I'm going to be water.
Motivational speakers is beautiful. I still listen to them to this day. So, right, on to what we're talking about, brother. So you wanted to talk about this topic about opinions and debate, and I think given the recent circumstances with all the political divide and the racial divide and the divide on masks and no masks and COVID and no COVID and flat earth and no earth, like, talk to me, brother, talk to me.
Please be an earth. Yeah. Well, have you had many heated debates recently? Have you had conversations that you thought this should be really mutually respectable, like a calm connection together, and suddenly it just turned up to be quite a heated flare-up? Have you had that?
At the start of COVID, as soon as it happened, in March, the first lockdown, as it was leading up to the first lockdown, I had already had my belief system set in. I don't believe in the media. Like, I have my own beliefs and I have my own opinions, but I've learned not to attach to them, if that makes sense. So at the start of lockdown, I was very attached to my belief system. Like, it's a load of bollocks. It's this, it's that. It's Iran and America trying to go to war. It's all the rest of it, okay? And I was firmly fixed in the belief that this is what was happening. It was all a conspiracy for the elites to regain or to gain more power and control over the people. Now, to a degree, I still believe in that. I still have my beliefs in that. However, I've just not attached to them. So, like, at first I was having heated debates. No, it's this, and the other person, no, it's definitely real. And then I had debates about the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and I had heated debates about it all. And eventually what I'd come to the conclusion is I was wasting all of this energy on trying to make people believe what I believed. And I was because that energy I was wasting, I could have been putting it in different aspects in my life, like my relationships, my business, my training, just working on myself. And I was wasting all that energy on trying to get other people to see what I thought was right.
And to strip that down a little bit, which we love to do, but why do you feel you wanted that so much? Why did you want people to see the way you saw? Did you feel you wanted them to be able to come on your side so you could fight something together? Did you want people to back you up? Did you just want to feel good? Did you want your ego to feel rewarded that you were right? I think it was
everything you just said there in different quantities. Like, nothing's ever one thing in life. There's never one reason to. So part of me thinks that I wanted to help people. I wanted people to see my point of view, because I felt like if I was able to, because I thought that the world was going this way, I wanted to prepare people and say, guys, this is what is happening in the world in the future. Make sure you're ready for it. Part of it was to be right. I think we love being right as human beings. When we say, oh, this and this, and we're right, we're like, told you I was right. There's always that aspect of told you so.
Yeah.
We love being able to say that as human beings. And also, if people come onto our side, we get a bit of a buzz. We get some dopamine release. And I think it's like going back to that tribal mentality.
Okay.
We want to surround ourselves with people who believe what we believe, because if we are all believing the same thing and we're all living the same way, we're more likely to survive together and thrive together and communicate and connect together. So I think that's part of it as well.
I think that's absolutely wonderful what you just said. And again, I was reflecting to moments where I've had heated exchange and trying to think, why did it get to that level? But from what you've just articulated then, it makes a lot more sense to me now of why it could have got to that point. Do you have any theories or ideas, and you're a man of theories, why we like to be right? Why is it in our nature to be heard and be seen as we've got the answer? Why do we want that?
I think it gives us a sense of kind of being, I'm going to say. Maybe you can elaborate more on this, but it gives us a sense of like, we know. I think it's dopamine, it's chemicals. Imagine this, when you put something on Facebook or Instagram, a picture or a video, and lots of people like it, and lots of people comment on it, and lots of people go, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you're looking good there. Yeah. How do you feel?
Good, yeah.
You feel very good.
Dopamine's regulated.
Yeah, dopamine, opioids, the sense of, what's the word, when people...
Self-worth.
You get a lot of self-worth from it. And when you're right, when you're an expert in something, and people say, "Oh, you're an expert in this," it gives us a sense of well-being, a sense of self-worth. And I think it is literally as simple as that. I think we're just trying to look for that self-worth.
I've put ideas together as well, like evolutionary speaking. This is on a male's perspective as well. I don't know if this is right. This is speculation. But one thing we used to do to attract people, and to attract the other species in particular, was grow muscles, be strong, be that archetypal caveman figure. I think evolutionary speak, I don't know if this was the 60s or where this came in, but we started using politics and our minds, and we started talking the lingo and the jargon. The hippie movement came into place. So we'd all speak of stuff of mindfulness, great things that we can connect over and we can relate on. But I feel like men that learnt to use their mouths efficiently and effectively started getting the women then. So the shift happened where it wasn't all about looks and body and that. It was more about getting into their minds. And I'm not saying it's a fully for a bad thing or a bad cause, but it just started to take that shift pattern. Have you noticed anything in that? Like, my friends that got into the hippie realm, that were just really like me, bullied kids at school, didn't really get on much, struggled to find people to be around. And then when I started talking things of compassion, things of change, things of this is all bullshit, let's change it all round, people navigated towards me, and I got that ego rush.
I think so what you touched on there is, what you said is, women look to men who are powerful, who have a powerful presence.
And this is just an element of it, yeah.
This is just an element of it. So women look for men who have a powerful presence, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But it's not just women, it's as a society, we always look for people in power to give us guidance. I think it stems from thousands of years ago, maybe in tribes. There was that, you see it on films, it's depicted, there was always that one man or that one woman who was like the hunter, huntress, or the powerful presence. And then all the people below, they'd look up and cheer, like Conan walks in after killing the three-headed whatever with a head on his shoulder. Everyone goes, "Ah, Conan!" And we look for that power. So we're in a society where people who can effectively communicate their point and put all the facts to it, they become of powerful presence and believable, and it's like we trust that person a bit, like I guess Jesus was that person back in the day,
or a cult leader.
Oh,
we're not
touchy. And I think that's where it stems from, looking for people we can trust, looking for people in power. I mean, we're doing it at the minute, most people are doing it at the minute with the government are saying this and this, and we know all the facts, and look to us for help and salvation and for guidance 100%. So I think that's part of the reason.
I suppose it is because we're in such a turbulent time with information always at the ready and disposable, and we've not learnt ways of processing it, but having healthy skepticism where we can look through it and sieve out and go, yeah, that fits me, that doesn't, that fits me, that doesn't. So we can go down paths, and as we know, like, we can hit an algorithm that fully veers to our point, and then we become surrounded so much in that's what our ego becomes. I wrote a line recently, it's my favourite line of any line, and it was opinions are faulty because if you don't budge, you judge. And that's how I started through my life. Like, I didn't know who I was as a person, but until I saw, like, say, Russell Brand talking and saying this is all shit, this isn't right, I started going down his path, and I became a little mini Russell Brand for a while, taking on all his thoughts, all his beliefs, and I was dispelling that to anyone around. I was like, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? But it's the first time people were like, this guy's cool, this guy's interesting. And then I grew a huge sense of attachment to these beliefs because I was like, this is who I am, this is what I need to do. And it was that positive response, which was a blessing because it was coming from there's worse place to hold it, because it was coming from a good side of my nature. I wanted compassion, I wanted all that. But then when you don't have balance in life, as you know, you end up slipping over, and you're like, if nobody thinks like this, you're all idiots, you're all out the game, you don't get it, and it becomes quite a nasty part
we take things that we hear on the internet, and we, like Russell Brand, you took Russell Brand, and we make that a part of our identity. But what we do is we discredit our own judgments and opinions and beliefs.
That's a very good thing what you just said then.
And here's another thing though, even if we don't listen to anybody else and we completely trust ourselves and believe what we believe, we also have to question our own beliefs. It's just because we grow as human beings, we grow as a society, times change. We do need to, science, for example, they used to think they used to think tobacco was healthy. They used to advertise that smoking was healthy. Now look, only a few years later, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, we like, no, smoking's bad for you and causes cancer. What are we going to find out in the future about not just science, but the way that we live at the minute? That's going to be wrong, that we think is right now, but in 20, 30, 40, 50 years time we go, fucking hell, look how wrong we was. So this is why you have to, like, don't attach to your beliefs, have your beliefs, have your debates and opinions, and I wouldn't even say have a debate, have a conversation about what you believe and what they believe, and how you both could be wrong, but it's interesting to see that. And you're going to be a lot happier in terms of that. And I want to talk about confirmation bias. I want to put some science as to why we actually do this. Our brains have this thing called the reticular activating system. It's in the brain. What it does.
An acronym?
RAS.
That's enough for me.
RAS. Yes. Me. It's the RAS in the brain. You've got the RAS. So you've got this thing called the RAS in the brain. And one of its many jobs is to filter out information or things that are happening in the world that you don't need to know about. Because imagine if we took on everything that was happening on this bus right now. We've got the lights, the cameras, I've got you, I'm looking at your headphones, I can hear myself, there's a microphone. If we took on everything, the brain would overload. And I think that's where some autistic people have problems, and you see them covering their ears or covering their eyes. Sensory overload. So what the RAS does is it picks out things that are important to us and what we believe. So if we believe at the minute that podcasts are beneficial to us, our brain's going to pick out things. Oh, look at that.
Right.
Oh, that's about podcasting. That can benefit us. Oh, that's how we can improve. It's like if you buy a car, let's say you buy a red Porsche or a red Ford or something, and you've never seen these cars before, and all of a sudden you're driving around your red Ford. Oh, look, he's got that car. He's got that car. Why has everybody got that car?
I knew this was the thing, I just didn't know the word for it.
So it's like a confirmation bias. Our brain looks to confirm what we believe. Now, how that works with this, you said the algorithm, the Facebook algorithm, the new algorithm that pushes everything to us that we believe, that we've already researched. If we're looking at flat earth videos, the algorithm picks up on that and says, right, we're going to, as everybody knows from Social Dilemma, the Netflix thingy, it starts to throw things that might resonate with us in that. The thing is we're not being able to see anything outside of that. And when when that's all we see, like you say, we start to firmly place our beliefs and our identities in that. And then whenever anyone says, no, but the earth is round, or this is this, and we go, no, because we've seen it on our phone, and it's all we see on our phone. So that's the confirmation bias kicking in.
And only just to reiterate that point, not only is it that, we see that on our phone, but you align yourself with other people with them beliefs. So you build communities over it. So when you've built friendships and trust with people over this thought, if somebody else goes against it, you're going against their tribe then. And you don't want people to attack your tribe or to ruin a good thing that they've got. So I listened to one on Flat Earth, and this guy was meeting astronauts, he was talking to people that had been to space, whatever. But he was just, because he built a community of friends and family and people that believe his thought so much, he was so regimented and rigid on this thought that he was like, no, because my whole world will corrupt.
Yeah, all his relationships, everything that he's ever believed.
That I've ever thought of is going to be decimated. It's going to be dismantled and put to...
Can I just add to that? I think we are in a time in society where that is happening on a widespread, on a huge level. Like, we've lived for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, definitely for hundreds of years, since the Charles Darwin theory of evolution.
Yeah.
We've built our thought systems and our education systems and everything on one principle that one man came up with that he didn't even fully believe in.
Yeah.
And we get,
like you say, theory.
A theory, and we've got to a point where all these belief systems about things are starting to come crumbling down, like the belief system of how finances should work and how we should be successful and how we should love and how we should have sex and how
Which is really scary.
It is
change
really scary.
For people, they repel it. It's like as soon as you hit comfortability mode, this is what we want now. We want to live in this nice, comfortable plateau, I suppose. Yeah. But that isn't how the world is. That isn't realistic to existence.
No, it's not realistic, and like I say, mate, it's coming crumbling down, and I think this is why we're going through so much fear, like you said, so much pain at the minute in 2020, is because we are at the breakup point. I like to call it the breakup point, because like we're going through a breakup as a human race. We're breaking up with the old belief systems. We're going into these new ones, newisms, mate, and it's very painful to do so. And I think in 20, 30, 50, maybe 100 years' time, we'll look back and I think we'll be in a better place. We'll look back and go, it's a good job we went through that painful breakup. Just as you look back on your old breakups with exes and you go, God, I'm glad we broke up, because look where I'm at now. And I think that's what's happening with we're breaking up from the old belief systems.
And these are my favourite conversations to have. It isn't the, look what's happening here, isn't it terrible? Or look what's happening here, isn't it fantastic? It's just, look what's happening, what we're going to do about it.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah.
Because I heard this podcast the other day with Matthew McConaughey, but he said it perfectly. He got a glass of water and he was like, I don't go half full or half empty. I just go, that's how much water's in my glass. What am I going to do to fill it up? And I was like, oh man, that's enough for me. That I want to be that mindset of optimism, but realistic.
Yeah.
I'm not going, look, it's half full.
Can I add to that then? Here's the glass. I'm going to use my glass now.
Oh, no.
So look how full mine is.
You think you're better than me?
this is what I actually want to try and touch on is, it's not, okay, this is how much water's in the glass. Does it even need filling up right now at this moment in time? Or is being half empty where I need to be right now?
Yeah.
And like, just asking these questions, it's not about being one way or being right or being this or being optimistic or being pessimistic or being happy or it's about asking the questions and seeing how you feel. Like some days I wake up, maybe this is going off the point a bit, but some days I wake up and I feel like my glass is half empty. Sure. And like no matter how much I try and force that glass to be half full and try and be positive, it just isn't working. So what I do is I say, okay, well, today's going to be a day where I just kind of relax a little bit. I chill out and I take it easy on myself. And then tomorrow is going to be a better day. And it's just asking these questions and not believing one way or believing this or thinking that and attaching yourself and being rigid. It's about being like water. Right, that's it, guys. I think we should wrap it up there, man. We just full circle. No, carry on.
That's fantastic. I think very much with the water. I forgot what I was going to say then. It's because you put me off point. I was like, Mikey. That was so good.
Sorry, Mikey, I blew you away with. But we were just talking about, beliefs. Have you got any belief systems that you kind of maybe because I know we all have those belief systems that we're fully like, I believe that. Is there anything that you're questioning at the minute, or
not anymore? No,
Talk to
me. I'm going on my path, and I'm going on my own experience, what feels good. People need to live authentically. That was what I was going to say. Live authentically in the moment. And for me, if it's a diet plan that I've seen, that I'm listening to this person and he speaks on levels and volumes to me, I'm like, I'm going to implement that in my life. I'm not going to go around anymore and go, everybody, try this diet plan out. It's the best diet plan ever. Everybody should do it. Like, I'll give you a little anecdote. The other day, I come back from the butcher's. I was with my little buggy and Chrissy, and I had the meat at the bottom, like it was just full. I got organ meats and everything in there. I'm pushing up the drive, and my mum, who is a very powerful lady.
Oh yes, she is.
Stern woman.
She's got a very big presence about her.
Strong, and she was like, "What you got there?" And I was sort of like, here we go. I know something's going to happen here. But I've gone to the side of, right, just some meats, I'm trying this diet out. I didn't need to say that, but I was like, let's see where it goes. Trying this new diet out. What's that then? Yeah, it was carnivore diet. I just want to see what it does for my body. I've not been feeling very well recently, so I'm trying something new out. That's going to kill you, that is. You're going to die from that. Your cholesterol, you're this, you're that. Oh, well, I've actually listened to some of his really good points where this isn't so much of an issue anymore. Maybe we've seen it wrong, like you said before. No, it's all wrong. And it got a little heated, and I wasn't firing back, but I didn't use humour what I should have done, like, oh, see you later, let's go. And I was left with a bit of an imprint from that. I was ruminating on it and feeling a little upset by it.
Yeah, and here's what we need. This is why we need to be careful about challenging others' beliefs and opinions. We have to do it in a healthy way if you want to challenge it, but like, you don't realise how much damage you could do to that person. For example, let me give you an example. A child is 3-4 years old, and the child says to the parent, when I'm older, I want to be an astronaut and I want to go to space. And the parent goes, you ain't never going to space. Do you know how many people have gone to space? Do you know how many people are on Earth? You ain't never going to space.
Yeah.
Imagine if Elon Musk's parents would have said that to him.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we have to be careful about what we say about others' beliefs and opinions, because you might ruin that person the rest of their life.
And this is from that anecdote, how simple it is for me. Just be nice to people and be more curious than anything. You don't have to be rigid of, you're going to die, what are you doing that for, you idiot? Just go, all right, do you know what, I've heard this, have you looked into that? If you've got information that can back it up, then send me that way, and we'll have a conversation, like you said earlier, where we can communicate over it. You don't need to tell me I'm being stupid for my own body's sake. If I was going around to you telling you how to live, I can see you get your back up, and you want to go, no, I'm protecting myself here. I don't need you to tell me how to live. But if I'm living that way, and I'm just explaining what I'm going through, be curious with people, explore
ask questions. Ask, because you might learn something that you didn't know. Instead of going, for instance, your mum might come in and say, oh, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 this, and this. And then, 5 months down the line, you get a blood test and you're the healthiest you've ever been.
Yeah.
You're looking good. You've lost all this weight.
And I really have, man. Like, I've lost
I could tell in your face, even though you've always been a handsome man, you're even more handsome. So, well, the thing is now we can learn and we can then improve our life. So I go, Mikey, I've heard that carnivore diet, I believe you should eat vegetables and fruits. Do you know something I don't? What have you heard? And you go, oh, well, this, and this, Zach. I go away and I look it up and I try it and it benefits me then. So we can benefit by taking other people's opinions and beliefs, but again, not trying to set it in stone as like one of the 10 commandments that we live by.
I think if you go in with an aggressive attitude from the off, everyone's backs up and nothing gets achieved. Everyone just leaves that because they want to fight their point. If aggression's gone in with the forefront, it's like, no, you're right, no, you're right, and it just gets really ugly, heated and unnecessary. If you both go in with inquisitive minds and with a curious attitude, you're both probably going to come away happy and with something to take away as well.
Like, you maintain your relationship.
Exactly. I'll come away with this, I'll come away with that. What a lovely encounter.
And now we're still friends. Yay!
Yeah. And that's what we need more of. People being tolerant, understanding. No, everybody is going through their own experience. They're all going through their own lives. And the reason they've come up with this ideology or thought is because of a long experience of life. Let them have it. When you meet them, explore with them. Yeah. That's all we need to do.
And here's the cool thing: when you don't attack their beliefs and opinions, and you question and kind of get inquisitive and curious, they then reciprocate that and mirror that. Instead of attacking your beliefs and opinions, they'll give you the chance to speak.
That is absolutely bang on true.
Most of the time, it's kind of like a mirror effect. When you go, you're a wank, you're stupid, you believe stupid stuff, they go, well, you believe stupid stuff.
That's it, you're hitting a wall.
Whereas you go, I'm interested in your beliefs and opinions, and then they tell you, and then they go, what do you believe? And all of a sudden, we've got a conversation. So
falls under the umbrella of respect.
Yeah.
Like somebody was talking to me the other day about flat Earth, but he was so fascinated on it and passionate about it. And even if I disprove it to his face or not, like, there's two different occurrences that come from that. Like, either we've sat there and had an unnecessary exchange of words, or I've explored with him but still left a bit like, maybe I won't go on that path, but I've given him a time and space to talk.
Yeah, and here's the thing with that as well, Mikey. Like, this is the mentality I take in my life for hopefully pretty much everything. I'm guessing this stuff that I've got a blind eye to and I'm not quite seeing, but let's take the flat Earth or the round Earth. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. Do you know why I don't know? Because I haven't seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
I've heard people, scientists prove it. I've also looked into the flat Earth and they've convinced me a little bit. And do you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't care whether it's flat, round, square. I don't care if it looks like a penis, a giant phallus. I really don't care, mate, because A, it's not affecting me. B, I can't prove or disprove right now. And C, there is no C. It's just A and B. It's just I can't. It doesn't affect me, and I can't prove it. And I use that aspect with everything. COVID, like you said, COVID. What do I know? I know that we're all in lockdown at the minute. I know that, and I can't really do anything about that. Okay. Can I prove that COVID is real and it's just a disease that is killing people and there's no other ulterior motive? No, I can't. Can I disprove it? No, I can't. Do I care? No, I don't. Like, it's not affecting me right now. All I know is, what have I got? How can I deal with it? Is essentially what I'm trying to say.
And my piece for people to take away is, hate will not cure anything. No. We're not going to get anywhere by hating the opposing team. So if you're in your team and they're in theirs and you're throwing stuff at them, they're only going to rile up. So the one thing I saw with the Black Lives Matter movement was people just viciously attacking one another. Again, I've seen, like, did you see that documentary of the KKK guy?
No.
Well, it was a black guy was on an interview, and then the KKK guy came in for that interview. Afterwards, they got talking, and he was like, oh, I've never sat with a black person before. And the guy, because he was so charismatic, lovely, kind-hearted, they become friends. So the next time they met up at a pub, he bought his cloak and his robe and everything, said, you're going to need that. I don't want it anymore. I moved on. And then the black person, I can't remember his name. I think it was... I'll find it after, I'll put it up. But he made it a mission to just be nice to as many people as possible from the KKK and convert them through kindness. And it worked. There's a whole documentary on it, and it was such a beautiful, powerful moment. And he wasn't going around with a plaque saying, you're all fuckers, go out, get out of the country.
And here's the thing with like, I'm going to take the extreme. So I'm going to go KKK. I'm going to go murderers, and I'm going to go rapists, okay? I'm not excusing them before we start. I'm not excusing what they do. They are bad. They act bad. What we do need to look at is, how did they grow up? What happened to them? Did the rapist get raped as a kid, and now his belief system says, this is how I should act? Did the KKK grow up with the mother and father who have been through some, who've grown up in the slave era or whatever, and then they conditioned the child that all black people or all certain people, Jews, whatever, were bad? And then we say, okay, well, now he's got that in his reticulate activator system and he's struggling to get out of it. Like, what are these people's belief systems that are committing these atrocious acts? Do we just point our finger and go, you're a bad person? Okay, they need punishment. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying we need to kind of work out where the bad conditioning, the bad belief systems are, and how do we kind of, like the black guy of your story did, how do we convert those people to a better way of living through having conversations? Love, hopefully.
Because I feel that is the reason for most madness in the world is a lack of love.
100%, mate. 100%. And we know from our own experiences growing up with our mothers, who I love my mother, you love your mother. I mean, I love your mother, and I'm sure you love mine.
I love your mother.
I love your mother. You want to talk about mothers? No, like, and yeah, we grew up with a lack of love. And we can kind of see why we was chasing certain things in life through that lack of love. And if you've got anything that's going on in your head that you think's not working in your life, just ask yourself, what are you trying to put in place of love that you lack in, maybe as a child or just in general, or the lack of self-love? Like what you
desperation to feel validated.
Yes.
Why are you seeking that? Go into your history, just think about what you've been through and why may you feel that. And the moment you detach from that, the moment you break away from seeking validation at every moment, life becomes a lot more lighter. It becomes a lot easier to live in.
It does, man.
Because you're not searching for it anymore. You get in it on the daily, in yourself.
Do you think then that believing something and then reaffirming that belief with factual evidence or YouTube videos or whatever, do you think that gives you a sense of validation? And instead of finding because we're lacking love, we're now receiving the love and validation through knowing and through the community. Do you think that's another? Do you think?
All ego-based, and again, what we've spoke about before, they're probably being validated in many different forums, like when they're on social media, they're getting some other people jeering them on, backing them up. It's called virtue signalling, isn't it?
Virtue signalling.
Virtue signalling, where people spout out a thing, and then everyone's backing them up on it, and the thing they're spouting out is to sound good, for people to get behind. It's a really easy, digestible thing, like defund the police. So somebody else goes, defund the police, defund the police. It's an echo chamber, because it's so easy to say that, like we love in this podcast, there's nuance to everything.
Yeah, there is.
But because you can just put a slogan up on your platform and then you get 1,000 likes and everyone jeers you on and goes, yeah, you're right, you're building up a community. So that self-worth's coming through an ugly place.
Especially with these one-liners like silence is violence. And even positive quotes, like, for instance, let's think of a
silence
positive.
Can be love.
Silence can be loving. But like, silence is sometimes necessary when you're listening, because you don't know what to say. You don't know the facts and figures, and you don't know history. And if you're to say something, it's wrong. So maybe you need to be silent and listen. Silence is listening. So like what you're saying is these one-liners, whether it's a positive quote or a negative quote, we're like fixing our identity on these one-liners and saying that's what we believe.
Because we're picking a team.
But there really is so many different factors and nuances and levels and aspects and tiers to everything in life. Like,
just so easy to slur out. It's so easy to say, but we have to go between the lines. We have to go with that little grey area we love to dance in. But because these, like, just say, for example, defund the police, that was shouted out to the top of the rooftops. There's an area in America now where they chose to go off of it. Yeah, let's.
Where's that?
Them.
I think I've heard of that.
I think it was near LA. It was. I've been listening to.
What was California like? Was that one bad as well?
That was pretty bad as well. Yeah, I've been listening to the Joe Rogan podcast and hearing the heats that's been going on. But again, this area now, because they went off of something so quickly from what people were saying, they didn't think of the backup plan. They didn't think of everything that could go on along with that.
Yeah.
So they defunded them, and these people are literally begging, no, please, we need law and order.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
They're begging for the police to be back.
Well, this is what I think Joe Rogan says something. It's not that they needed defunding. It's not that they needed more funding, more education on like how to effectively control, and also I guess if they were racist police, they needed some education on the fact that we are all just one species and we are all coming from the same place.
And the bad apples, literally just get rid of them.
Yeah.
We need them. If they've had a few people complain about them, just flick them out. Say, that's it, you're gone.
And we need a way of worming out those bad apples, which again requires more funding. So to defund it is just going against what. But then again, like if we get into this route, then we're going.
We'll go. Well, I think it exposes what we're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
If you've just gone onto your platform, you've seen this is the way people are going, virtue signaling in this direction. Don't just attach to it straight away.
Question it.
Think for yourself, question everything, and go in between the lines.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
That's what we could end on, I suppose.
I think, that's what we'll end on. I've got a little quote. I've got a quote for us. I thought I'd look a little quote while Mikey was going off on a tangent then, brother. Right, no, but it's a beautiful little quote. Your reality is a reflection of your strongest belief. It just sums up everything.
Yeah, that's the podcast.
Yeah, that's the podcast, mate. So, guys, thank you for listening. We hope you are going to go away and have some friendly conversations rather than heated debates. And I hope that you get a chance to question your own beliefs so that you aren't stuck in such a rigid way of living and become miserable and angry all the time.
I'll be tolerant, be authentic, be real, be kind. One love.
Love you guys.